Hello everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. And today we are taking a look at this super cool Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom 1963 Firebird 1 in a rock and silver mist finish. Part of the inspired by Gibson custom line, which is basically top tier overseas made Gibson models in a way, as in that they are basically just recreations of those with everything that you could possibly ask for, apart from maybe like some minor details, but with just all of those top-notch parts and like specs and all of that jazz, but then still rather affordable. And this is also then a really awesome model of that line. So the Firebird was first introduced in 1963. You would then have the Firebird 1, you would then also have the Firebird 3, the 5 and the 7. Firebird 1 kind of like compares with a Les Paul Jr., as in that you just got one pickup in the bridge position, in this case being a mini humbucker that is especially designed for this very model, for the Firebird. You got no like fancy binding or no fancy pearl tap inlays or such, not that you need that. And then you had the Firebird 3, which would then get dual pickups and then also binding around the fingerboard, I believe, but then still with the dot inlays. Firebird 5 would then be like a Les Paul standard in a way. You then get the trapezoid inlays and then also a trem system, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got the Firebird 7 with all gold hardware, big block pearl inlays on the fingerboard that would then be made out of ebony and binding around the fingerboard like the most fancy version of the model. But then this is, as you can tell, the Firebird 1, and it is really, really awesome. So let's dive into the specs. We have got a true, accurate 9-ply mahogany walnut neck through construction. As you can tell, this is a long instrument, but from bottom to top or top to bottom, this is like minus the wings, like one big piece of laminated wood, as in that you've got 9 layers of mahogany and walnut from, yeah, again, from top to bottom. So that is really cool about this model, and also really the only model made by Gibson to actually get that type of a construction. Yeah, again, really cool that they actually managed to do that on this model. And then the wings over here, maybe you can also see that in the middle, you've got this raised part, but then like these wings are then pieces of mahogany that are then glued to that 9-ply neck through piece. Obviously a Firebird body style, which is a very, very unique body style, as we can definitely tell. The designer of this was mainly inspired by the automotive industry, as you can probably also tell. You can probably see what I mean by that, as this looks very aerodynamic, if you will, and it just looks super, super cool. You've got, again, the single Firebird mini humbucker pickup, and this is made by Gibson. So this is a Gibson USA Firebird mini humbucker pickup with L Nico 5 magnets. All of the parts that you see on this model are really top tier stuff. So made by Gibson in the USA. We've got a wrap around tailpiece with also kind of like that lightning bolt type of a variant, as in that you do got some intonation room right there, because you can then also adjust kind of like the angle of the bridge with these 2 screws that you can then adjust with an Allen key. We've then obviously got the really cool Firebird pickguard, which is a multiply material, so white, black, white, with the Firebird emblem there done in red. Just got a single volume and a single tone control for your one pickup. CTS pots, so that is also top tier stuff, as well as hand wired wiring in the back. So that is also some really high quality stuff. Also then kind of reserved for the inspired by Gibson custom models. And then also along with Mallory capacitors. And then we have got a Switchcraft input jack over here on the front, or an output jack, I believe. We got the strap button over here at the end, and you've got actually 2 options for the top button, because you've got one over here and then also one over here. So yeah, again, you've got multiple options. The neck is just like the body, again, neck through, and then just made of that laminated mahogany and walnut type of a construction. The fingerboard is made out of Indian laurel, so that is like the one thing that is not accurate, but this is actually a really nice piece, as in that it is really dark and it really does look like rosewood. If I am being completely honest, it looks, yeah, again, it actually looks really good. A lot of the times, like with laurel, the pores can be a little bit too wide, as in that you maybe then like feel like that the pores could then like get like dirt in them and that it then feels a little bit rough. But this is actually a really nice piece of Indian laurel that again looks very much like rosewood. I think that we can all agree on that. We've got then just dot mother of pearl inlays, which are real pearl, so not pearloid but actual pearl, and then your side markers over here on the side. And then we have got a graph tag nut, and the nut width, by the way, is 1.692 inches, which then translates to 43 millimeters. The profile is described as a 1963 Firebird profile. I know, crazy, but it is pretty beefy, quite chunky, a little bit of a D profile, or maybe like more so like a slim taper type of profile going on, as in that the shoulders are then a little bit rounded, or well, maybe not rounded, maybe that is not the right word, but as in that it does feel like that the shoulders then kind of like become more like straight, and that then just results in just a really fine feeling and a really fine playing neck, but it is quite beefy. So if you do like big necks, then this is a really cool neck for you to consider, or this model is a really cool model for you to consider. We've got the super awesome Firebird headstock, super iconic. Also then with that raised part going on over here on the center of the headstock, along with your truss rod cover with your logo then done in gold. Looks super killer. And then on the back we've got the accurate banjo tuners, which you would also then find on the 1963 Gibson Firebirds from way back in the day. And then these tuners are actually made by Cluson, so very high quality stuff that they would also then use in the US on their US made models, and they work and look just super cool. Then you've got your IGC right there embossed along with your serial number. It is a little bit neck divey, as you can tell. It doesn't really want to like sit in one place, even like so. It does, yeah, it is a little bit neck divey, which is very common for this model and also then very much well known. So do keep that in mind. And then the last thing to mention, it also comes with a really cool hard shell case, yellow interior. You also then get a little bit of case candy, and then on the outside you've got the inspired by Gibson custom logo printed on there, then done in gold. It looks super cool. So yeah, all in all, a really sweet Firebird 1 remake, really, with all of the parts that you can really like ask for, but then still rather affordable. They are not cheap, I know, but they also are not super expensive. Like if you were to buy this model that would then be made in the US, number one, they aren't being made at this point of time, and number two, they're just really hard to find, and then they would probably like cost a couple of $1,000s, if not more. So yeah, at that I think that this is actually still quite a good deal, because it also just plays, sounds, and looks just fantastic. So let's get to that part and hear what it sounds like. But first, if you're interested in this brand new 1963 Firebird 1 Epiphone inspired by Gibson, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more cool weekly demos of cool electric guitars like these, or cool acoustics, bass guitars even, all of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and to follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's hear what this brand new, inspired by Gibson custom 1963 Firebird 1 sounds like. Going to be playing it through the 1966 Marshall JTM 45 Blues Breaker amplifier. First be playing with the clean tones, and then I will be playing with the dirty tones, for which I'll be using the MXR Duke of Tone overdrive / distortion pedal. So let's get to that part and take this really cool Firebird 1 for a spin. you.